Geminis, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for October 17th to the 23rd of 2016. I'm Athen, and this channel is about using the actual constellations in the sky known as Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below for more information. All right, so Geminis, this week we do have some important things taking place, just a few things, but they are all very important. We've got essentially Mars going over Pluto, a very collectively significant aspect. We'll talk about this. This is going to be exact on Wednesday, but all in all, this first half of the week. Also, we do have your ruler Mercury opposing up to Uranus, which is very important for you personally, and Venus shifting into your 6th house of Scorpio. So let's go and break this down. First, looking at this Mars conjoining up to Pluto. So first of all, this has been over the past few weeks, maybe a bit more of an intention to connect in on a relationship level or put some energy into the relationship side of your life. So if you've been feeling that, great. This is now a time where you can make some changes with your relationships. In fact, it's very big changes, I feel like. This is a very, this only happens once every 2.5 years with this kind of aspect. And of course, with Pluto, it's always very deep and very important anyways. So this is the fact that over the past many years, you have been releasing any old patterns in relationships. And this is all relationships. It's essentially your perspective of them that is changing, and also a lot of fears and inhibitions and anxieties and doubts and traumas from the past, usually with Pluto, or we don't know where they come from, past lives even, that do come to the surface to be accepted, essentially, because it's through the acceptance that we transform. And so it's the week to do that, to first of all be aware of the fact that there are some old patterns involving relationships in your life, that it is the time to transform them, to change them, and maybe to do that. But again, it does require diving deep. It does require a willingness to change, and all in all, to detach. Because what Pluto does is, especially with Mars, is it can really emphasize where our ego is attached. Because when there is fears, there is, of course, attachment. In other words, we're holding on to something. We want something to be a certain way. And we even want to understand it. And this is all what the ego does, the mind. And it's with Mars is particularly the ego of what we want. So something we want here in relationships is important to see, to be aware of, and to understand that this is something that as we detach from the wanting, as we detach from the desire, then the real transformation can occur. Okay? And that's the true power of Pluto, not the fake ego power of Pluto, where if the ego gets involved, it can be intense, it can be dramatic, it can be, again, just more of a fortification of these old patterns. But when we're centered, when we're detached, when we're aware of the ego, we're aware of these needs, and we're not identified with them, then that's where the true transformation can occur. And I think this is going to happen on a general level for all of us, and for you Geminis, again, involving relationships this week. And I think being willing to dive deep, being willing to change, and to allow that ego to take a back seat will be a great emphasis for you to work on. A great way for you to work with this. And again, I think a lot of it is involving those one-to-one connections. Now, it's also involving your routine, and it's also involving your aspirations, because Mars does rule your 6th and does rule your 11th. So what this means is that I think, again, just like with relationships, maybe making some changes with your routine. Maybe it's time for that, or your work, or your regiments, or your self-improvement, or breaking some old habits. Oftentimes with the 6th house, maybe there's some unhealthy habits here that can be changed and transformed this week. So do be aware of that, be open to that, and also too, maybe there's some old aspirations, some old ideals, okay, some old future things, or maybe some things involving community or friends, perspectives of those that can be changed and transformed this week. And as that awareness, as that acceptance, and that space is created, I think all of you will notice it quite easily. But I think it's going to happen either way, but this will help you align with it and help you become more aware of what is in fact changing and how to work with these energies. All right, so that's that aspect. Let's go and look at this Mercury. So Mercury, your ruler, has been down here in the bottom of your chart. I think it's still a great time for you to be focused on home stuff, on location stuff, or maybe for some of you family, but fundamentally I think your health. The 4th house, which is the foundation of life, it's our temple. Our body is our temple on the most fundamental level. So in this sense, connecting with our bodies, maybe, changing or continuing to develop health, whatever that might mean for you personally. It's not so much the routine type of health, although that is being emphasized. This is more about being with the body, right? Connecting, listening, and maybe making some changes with that. There should be plenty of opportunities here for you to learn about health, for you to learn about the importance of having foundations such as home, location, and family, and with your ruler really emphasizing that. Now, this week you might be feeling like breaking through, breaking free, making some sudden changes this week, not only with the foundations, but also with yourself, okay? Because this is your ruler. So you might be feeling like there's just this extreme energy or this wanting to break through, break free. And I think there's something to listen to with this, okay? But do watch the extremes because, of course, it is an opposition. So we want to be centered and balanced. And what I think this is fundamentally about is that there is this change needed with your career or with your public life or your productive life, which needs to be more in alignment with who you truly are. And this has been really emphasized over the past 7 to 8 years with Uranus in your 10th. Okay. Now, with that being said, of course, yes, we do need changes. Yes, we do need conscious attention with the career, but at the same time, we do need our personal life to be in order. We do need things in our home life to be in order and our health to be in order. So it's a good week to see that we can make changes with both and to balance both. And we really can't have one without the other, right? And that it's an integration, it's a synergy of both. So for some of you, it could be spending more time with your personal life, with your family, if you feel like there's an extreme too much on the career, or for some of you feel like there's just too much of the personal life, or just the security, the protection of the fourth house, and not enough of the future-oriented stuff, right? Again, freedom through your career and enjoying the career and having the aspirations through your career, that needs to be cultivated. So see where you might have an extreme with that, but again, it's a balance of both. Integrate and see that you can't have one without the other. And with you, seeing where you can have freedom in your life in a healthy and balanced way because of the fact that Mercury is your ruler. Okay? And being aware of any extremes to want to break through this week. But listen, there's something there. There's something that is helping you make some healthy changes in your life this week. So you can have more freedom. And I think a lot of it does have to do with the career, the productive life. All right, so on another note, Venus is going to be going into your 6th. So this is where the routine sort of stuff gets emphasized this week. It's already been emphasized over the past year. I think it's been an excellent year for you to take seriously your health, your diet, your regimens, your work, to develop your craft. There's requiring a lot of patience with this. So I think it's a good week to continue with that patience. But on that note, enjoying it. Venus going into the 6th house can help you enjoy a bit of the work life, maybe connecting with relationships in the work sphere, enjoy a bit of personal development and diet and routine or whatever it is, can be enjoyable there. Okay, and you can also notice too that your self-expression can be something like as you develop yourself, your self-expression might be improving in a sense that you want to again be focused on your personal development there. And also too with your spiritual life. Venus does also rule your 12th house. So you could notice that as you're being, as you're centered, as your acceptance, you're accepting things in life, that can be a great way of working with the daily tasks, the daily routine. Okay. All right, so Geminis, that's the week in a nutshell. The strongest energy being, I would say, certainly this Mars conjoining Pluto, because it is for everybody. It's very collectively significant. There's old patterns being changed with relationships, with perspective of them. Again, being aware of and accepting any fears, any inhibitions. And then once we detach, we're okay with change, which isn't easy, but it'll come in layers and levels. As we detach, what happens? We're open to change. We free ourselves up. We don't care about the outcome. And that's the immense liberation that comes from Pluto, or can come from Pluto, especially with this kind of aspect. And the other area of emphasis, again, is still on your roots, on your personal life. I think it's great to continuously develop those and have that balance there with your work life. Okay, with your career, maybe some freedom there might be needed this week, and freedom with yourself to be who you truly are, which is connected through beingness and your centeredness, and maybe making some changes to accommodate that. All right, Gemini, so have a fantastic week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.